Hello, my name is Dominic Anderson. Today is June 2nd, 2024. This is for Southern New Hampshire's Sociology 324, Sociology of Crime and Violence. This is my outline. Um, my organization is called Riot Against Hate Stonewall's Legacy in Trans Activism. Um, First, I would like to introduce the topic of transgender hate crimes. It is a sad reality that we are facing in today's world, despite the forward movement that the LGBTQ community as a whole has made. The next thing I would talk about is the historical context, um, specifically about transgender individuals' uh, existence. A lot of people, when you talk to them, they're like, well, this is such a new concept and it came out of nowhere, when that is just super false. And I wanted to clarify that. Um, Transgender people existed in diverse backgrounds in many different cultures. I know in the Native American culture, they have individuals that are called two spirits. Um, that's just one example. I would go in depth about that. Um, but we have existed for centuries, far beyond what people believe that we have existed for. So I'd like to touch upon that. Um, the next aspect that I want to talk about is transgender visibility. Uh, Again, that kind of correlates into the historical context of our existence, but to take it a step further, the social media push that has made transgender life uh, accessible to homes across America, and why this has become such a popular and hot topic issue. Another thing, a part of that media is the visibility that we get, not just on social media, but with celebrities such as Caitlyn Jenner, Jazz with her TV show I Am Jazz. So, this is something that is, like I said, is at the forefront of America, where it is accessible to everybody, and it's on televisions and in people's homes. Um, uh, Another important aspect that I want to talk about is laws and regulations. Um, if you are current in today's LGBTQ um, news, there are multiple bills that are going up across the nation to prevent and ultimately to erase the existence of transgender individuals. This includes in schools, in for working, for housing, for healthcare. So that's something that I really want to talk about because, again, we have made impressive strides, but not enough. And, people are still combating us and trying to null our existence. Basic human healthcare is basic human healthcare, whether you're trans, cisgendered, white, black, Asian, Native American, it doesn't matter. It is a basic right that you have to good quality health care. Um, uh, to go along with those laws and regulations, I wanted to talk about police tactics. Now, there's a lot of integration between social justice issues, and this will talk about specifically one of those. Uh, Policing and the way that the nation polices people. We see a big divide in Black Lives Matter movement and Blue Lives Matter movement, and unfortunately, at a disproportionate rate, Black trans women are subjected to transgender hate crimes specifically, and a lot of them, unfortunately, end up in transgender murders. So I want to talk about how the police can police better and ensure the safety for all people, not just white trans women, white trans men, Asian trans men, Asian trans women. Like, I want to encompass a safe environment through policing tactics and how they can be more empathetic towards the trans community. Another aspect that I want to focus on is the social acceptability. Like I said, this is in these people's living rooms, and unfortunately, we see a very big divide, and unfortunately, it is a very political divide. Very right wing, very left winged, Republican or Democratic. Um, at the end of the day, I'm a human. I work. I pay taxes. I love my fiance, get married. Like, I'm doing all the basic human things. So there really is no difference between the two of us. So social acceptability, um, I am very fortunate that I don't experience an awful lot of stigmatization or any kind of hate crimes happening against me. I hear the comments and I see the snickers and, you know, the bullying as a kid I had a lot when I was transitioning, but as an adult, I've been very fortunate. But that is not the case for all transgender individuals, and that's something that I would like to talk about because that impacts the way we move forward as a nation. Is how we accept one another for who we are, uh, and for our most authentic and true selves, not just what we want to see from other people. This picture perfect reality that does not exist. Um, then I want to talk about the statistics of hate crimes and how often they happen and where they happen. Geographically, that has a large role that is played. Unfortunately, again, we see ourselves in this divide of political parties, and then that political party divide is also proven on the map of the United States, where in the South you are going to find a more Republican state, which is generally more anti-LGBTQ, and if you want to take it a step further, extremely anti transgender. So a lot of the hate crimes are going to be happening along the southern border and the southern region of our nation. So that is an important part to play. And then again, as I stated before, with policing tactics, unfortunately, there is a disproportionate rate for Black trans women that are experiencing these hate crimes. Another thing that I would talk about is the willingness to report crimes due to social acceptability and policing tactics. I know for myself from personal experience where I had to report a crime of assault happening to me with another woman. They looked at me and they laughed, and not necessarily because of my trans identity, because they did not know that at the time before I gave them my ID, but because I identify as a male and I am being attacked by a female. They were just like, okay, what do you want us to do about it? And that is unacceptable. I come from a cop family too, so it was disheartening to see that they took very little concern and very little interest in protecting me and my liberties as an individual. Um, and you'll see it across the nation. Like these hate crimes go so underreported due to a lot of social stigmas. Fear of being outed to a bunch of people at work. In your community, but in your neighborhood, a lot of people that don't know that you're trans. It is another safety precaution that you are taking. So avoiding being outed through reporting a crime is a big topic that I want to talk about. And then the last topic that I want to talk about, there's actually two last topics that I want to talk about. The one last topic I want to talk about is Transgender Day of Remembrance, which is a national holiday in which we remember the lives of transgender individuals who have been murdered. It is celebrated every year in November. I celebrate it every year in November. And I like to also highlight, as much as we are mourning the loss of people in my community, I like to also celebrate the people who have been successful in our community and pave the way for the rest of the nation and the trans individuals and the trans youth of tomorrow. And then finally, I want to talk about ways that all of these issues and all of these topics can come together and again, pave the way for tomorrow, because Rome wasn't built in a day, and social acceptance and community and all of these impacts are not going to happen. I'm not going to change everybody's mind by tomorrow, but the one mind that I do change tomorrow hopefully will play a rippling effect for the future.